And if you are coming on, I would love for you to share this because I'm going to talk about the truth about feeling stuck. And let's see here. Let me see if I can try to share this real quick because it's not coming up on my end. Give me one moment. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to go live. I don't want to take up too much more time, but for those of you that are here, that are watching out there in internet land, if you don't know who I am, I will introduce myself. I am Andrea, Coach Andrea, the Vision Igniter. I'm the CEO and founder of Dare to Live Ignited Coaching and Ignite University, the home of the signature program, the Process of Ascension Experience, a queen's journey to awakening your beautiful soul. I am so excited because I wanted to come on here to talk to you all about an event that I have coming up. And I'm going to be hosting it on September the 18th, which is a Saturday. It's called Ignite My Worth. It's a virtual activation workshop, which is going to be held on that Saturday in September on the 18th. And I just want you to know that this event is strictly for women who have experienced some challenges in relationships, whether they've been unhealthy relationships, or if you're walking through some challenges of coming out of an unhealthy marriage and you're walking through a divorce. You know, if you've ever lost your sense of self-confidence, worth, or value, if you've ever felt stuck, if you ever felt like your gifts are lying dormant, I'm here to let you know that the time is now for your gifts to be reignited, for you to regain your sense of self-confidence, worth, and self-love. And with that being said, I'm going to share with you a little bit later about where you can go to find out more information about that event, where you can register, where you can find out about pricing and all that great stuff. But I wanted to come on here today and talk about the truth about being stuck. And this is actually something that I'll be sharing at the workshop. So if you come that day, like I said, it's a virtual workshop. And if you come that day, you'll hear a little bit about this, but we're going to dive a little bit more deeper into it and everything. But I just wanted to share this little excerpt of something that I've heard before. And it says that the truth about being stuck is that you're really not stuck, okay? You're just committed to certain patterns of behavior because they've helped you in the past. And now these behaviors have become more harmful than helpful. The reason why you can't move forward is because you keep applying an old formula to a new level in your life. If you change the formula, you're going to get a different result. And this one part that I want to reiterate and talk a little bit more about is the part about why you can't, or why you feel as though you can't move forward. And once again, it's because you are applying an old formula to a new level in your life. And oftentimes when we find that we're in an unhealthy relationship, or we're walking through all of the different stages and phases of walking through a divorce, oftentimes we don't realize that when we move forward into other relationships, we may still carry that baggage. We may still carry those same behaviors and things that we might have contributed to the outcome of that relationship. And sometimes we often kind of consider the breakup of a divorce as something that is bad, but a lot of times it can be seriously become an awakening experience. And when we realize that all is not lost, there's lessons that you had to learn, there's different things that you had to go through to help you become your best self. Even though you feel like you might be at a loss, you're really gaining so much more, because it's a moment of self-realization. It's a moment of really being real and true and transparent with yourself, to take a minute and do some heart assessing, to do some internal work, to really pull back the layers of the brokenness of your soul, as well as the things that you may continue to keep attracting in your life. So when you're moving forward, not only in relationships, but when you're moving forward out of different seasons that occur in our lives, sometimes, and I'll relate this to the 4 seasons that we often go through here in Ohio or in Cincinnati. We have 4 seasons. We got winter, we got fall. We got fall, winter, summer, or spring and summer, right? But every season requires a different act of behavior to do. So Cincinnati might not be the best example, because oftentimes, if you're from here, you may say this weather out here is kind of crazy, or I hate to say, but all over the place. I'm not going to use the one word because that could be very touchy, but this weather is up and down. Like in 1 week alone, you can go through wintertime, fall time, or fall, winter, spring, summer, all in 1 week, especially when we're in those transitional months where the seasons are changing, right? And so what you'll find is when it's summertime, you're not going to go outside with gloves on and a hat or a coat, all bundled up with a scarf and all these different things. If you're going outside and it's 100 degrees, and in Cincinnati, if you go outside and it's humid out here, you feel a blanket of heat. But if you go out there and you have on all these different layers of clothes, what sense does it make to go out there and the season is hot, the heat is hot and heavy, right? But if you have on all these layers that normally in the wintertime when it's colder, you need those layers to help keep you insulated and warm and satisfied and cozy and everything. So in the summertime, we dress a little bit lighter. We put on lighter materials, to help withstand the heat and to help us to be able to cope, right? But even in the springtime, when the weather's a little bit chillier, or it's coming out of that winter season and transitioning into the spring where the flowers and stuff begin to bud, we begin to put away those winter clothes to kind of prepare us for the next season that comes. And once again, that's for all the seasons, right? But if we don't change the old habits, or we don't change the habits from one season into the new season, it can cause challenges in our lives, right? It can cause all different types of things that make us feel uncomfortable. So hopefully this is helping you a little bit. And I just wanted to come on here and just kind of share that plug right there, that sometimes we have to shift, we have to change, we have to do something different in order to get a different result. Sometimes we got to do something different in order to shift our perspective, or to shift our mindset into triggering us to have different behaviors, different ways that we approach things, different ways that we go about looking at things, or what have you. But we have to be more conscientious of the fact that, what, I might see this way because this is what's happened in my life. But in order for me to become unstuck, the truth of the matter is I have to shift. I have to look at things from a different perspective. Sometimes you could be looking at the same thing all day, every day, the day in and day out. But when you don't change your mind, or you don't put on a different shade of, or a different set of glasses to help you to see, or if you're a person who wears glasses, and you may notice that your eyes may be, changing as you're progressing through life, or for whatever reason, and the prescription strength of the glasses that you wear may not be serving you in the capacity for you to see more clearly. And so it's the same thing as it relates to walking in this life. We go through different changes, different seasons of our lives, but these aren't always things that have to keep us stuck. Sometimes it just requires that we shift. Sometimes it requires us to apply a whole different set of behaviors, a whole different set of systems and programs and things like that. Even down to, just to use this as an example, even down to our cars. A lot of times when we know that the seasons are changing, what do? We go and get our cars prepared for the winter time. So we may go and get our cars winterized to be able to withstand the season that we know that's coming. We might get our tires changed, we might get the oil changed, we may make sure that our batteries are good, right? Because when we know especially here, we know that when the weather flips on us and it gets cold, a lot of times you'll see a lot of cars on the side of the road. And the reason is because a lot of times people, either one, you may not be in position to go do it. You just riding until the wheels fall off, or you riding in your car until that moment comes where if you have to face the music of having to get your car fixed, right? But as we're progressing and we're going, when we take the time to prepare for the next season, we take the time to shift, because a lot of times spiritually a situation or something in our life can shift, but we haven't caught up yet. And so when we begin to do what is necessary, when we begin to change our mind, when we begin to change the way we're seeing things, and we begin to pivot or decide to go another way, or we decide to embark upon a new journey or enter into the unknown, a lot of times it just requires that we just do things a little bit different. We got to change the formula. The formula simply is changing your actions, changing your mind, changing your heart, changing the way that you see different outcomes of a situation, or changing the way that you might have approached things one way, or how you may have to shift in your faith. Sometimes our faith can be this low, but God's trying to elevate us to a higher level and realm and dimension to be able to increase our faith and to increase our capacity to be able to trust him in a new way, believe what it is that he's telling us that he's going to do for us, even when we don't feel like we're even worthy of receiving it. But just knowing that because I am a child of the Most High, that guess what? I am deserving of this. I am worthy. Why? Because that's what he said about me. He says that I am worthy. He said that I can come, we can have abundant life. So if we shift our perspective on how we see our current circumstances, or sometimes we got to get uprooted out of our current circumstance so that we can begin to heal, so we can begin to thrive and get ourselves in a whole new environment, surrounded by a whole new level and different type of people who are going where it is that we're really trying to go, or a whole different group of people who are already where we're trying to go, but we might need a little bit of the wisdom that they've endured or that they encountered, or a little bit gleaning from their experience, so that we can obtain wisdom to apply to our own lives in order to help us become who it is that God is trying to perfect us to. So I pray that in what was shared on tonight, I pray that this word of encouragement has encouraged you. It has inspired you to want to make the shift. Okay? Make the shift. And I want to leave you all with that and let you know that this event that is coming up on Saturday, September the 18th, 2021, it will be hosted from noon until 2. And if you decide to go VIP, you're going to be there until 3. And it's going to be an amazing event. Your life is going to be totally transformed. You're going to shift. You're not going to come the same way that you came there. You're not going to leave the same way that you came. Okay? I promise you that, if only if you are open, you're ready, and you are just ready for change. You're ready to see something different. You're ready to welcome the abundance that God has laid up for you. And just know that when you begin to relinquish control and you begin to allow yourself to know, trust and believe that you are worthy and you are worth fighting for. You're worth investing into. You're worth taking the time to do something different to yield you a different result, okay? And so I just want you to know that it's not going to just be me. My Ignite team is going to be there, and I guarantee you that once you leave, you will become ignited in some way where your life will be impacted. Even if it's by hearing one word. Sometimes that's all you need is one word. One word can literally transform your whole life. It happened to me. It took my friend Marion Johnson, who I've known for a long time. She's the founder and CEO of Living Fragrance Ministries, and she has an amazing transformative program called the Healing Chamber. And it took me going through her program and just hearing one word, One word. I came into her program broken. I came into her program looking for an answer. I told nobody about what it was that was on my heart. It was an unspoken request, and it took me going to one of the sessions of her event, getting ministered to and prayed for by a lady that had no clue of what it was that I was seeking God for and about. And when she began to speak life into me and encourage me, and just begin to just pour what God was saying in the moment. She spoke one word, and I heard one word, which was the word release at that time. And this was 5 years ago. The word was release. God has released you in the decision that you've been going back and forth about. I told this woman not one thing. I didn't even tell my friend what it was that I needed a word about. But let me tell you, that one word, release, and then the words that followed thereafter, was all that I needed to hear. It was that there for me was my defining moment. And I said that to say that her ministry has helped to birth me to step into my own ministry. And sometimes you just never know. You coming across one path and coming to a place where your ground is going to become fertilized and tilled and reactivated with the proper fertilizer that you need to spark and activate your growth and progression to help you to thrive. Guess what? Your ministry can become birthed. Your purpose can become birthed out. Your vision, the dreams, the goals, the aspirations that's been held up this whole time can be totally activated by one word. So I guarantee you that you will receive at least one word when you come to this event on September the 18th, on that Saturday, from noon Eastern Standard Time until 2. And if you go VIP, it will be until 3. Okay? If you go VIP, it will be until 3. Okay? But while you are there, you're going to have a part 2 rendition of, actually an extension of, what we are already going to cover. And this is going to be a interactive event. You'll receive a live kit in the mail that's going to have our my signature keepsakes in there through my, what I like to call, hands-on type of workshop. I usually do this in person, but with everything going on, I said, duck it. D-U-C-K it, okay? Duck it. I said, forget about it. I'm going to go virtual because I know that in this particular season, there are a lot of people out here who are going through some things, and we're going to go beyond the borders of a location. We're going to go virtual. And I pray that the borders of the virtual borders become expanded and enlarged. I want to reach people in Virginia. I want to reach people in Washington, California, Florida. I'm talking about all throughout the USA, okay? Because this information, this is an event where it's going to be a self-discovery moment. It's going to be something you've never experienced before. And when you go on this self-discovery quest to discover the things that are in you, you're going to have that moment where the light bulb will go off. And I believe, I'm saying this in faith, but I believe that God's going to meet you there. What you're hungering and thirsting for, God's going to allow you to find it there. And if you feel any inkling in your heart about change, and like something in my life just needs to change, like right now, I promise you that this is an event that you don't want to miss. And I'm going to share below this video, but I'll share it with you right now, the link to find out more information to register, more information about pricing, and to secure your spot. Because I'll tell you this now, there's only a few limited, very limited number of spots that are at the basic price, which you will see is $99. There's only a very limited amount of those, and once those fill up, it's first come first serve. Once those fill up, it's gone, it's shut down. Okay, so you want to secure your spot as soon as possible. Registration goes on from today all the way up until September the 10th. That following week leading up to that event, all the kits will be mailed to you directly to your front door, and with some very specific instructions in there. And then also, if you go VIP, you will also get one of my signature He Loved Me First t-shirts, and I should have brought it up here, but you will definitely see it on the website of what that looks like. But I just want to encourage you and let you know that God loved you first before you ever became anybody's anything, right? Whether you are a mother, whether you're a wife, whether you are walking through a divorce, or whatever the case may be, before you became anything, you were loved. You were loved by Christ, and He loved you first. You have been loved since the beginning of time. There is an unconditional agape love that is waiting here just for you to recognize that there is nothing that you can do. I don't care what you've ever done. There is nothing that you can do that can separate you from the love of God. And be reminded that your price is far above rubies and pearls. And that is the theme of this event, that your price is far above rubies and pearls, and you have to know that. You have to hold on to that. You have to let that become anchored in your heart, your mind, and your soul, because you don't want to cast your pearls before swine. You too valuable, rich queens out there. You are way too valuable to just allow any and or anyone or any circumstance or anything to tell you that you are anything less than a queen that God has called you to be. Okay, so I just pray that those nuggets that were shared on tonight, that they ignite something in you, they spark something in you. And if you want to know more information about that event, you can go to bit.ly/ignite my worth, and you will find all the additional information there about the Alma Diamond Sacred Circle, which is the VIP package. You don't want to miss it. And me and my Ignite team, my amazing Ignite team, will be happy to serve you in the best of our abilities under the grace and the anointing of God. And I know for a fact that your life will be changed. We want to see you there, and look forward to hearing from me from now all the way through until the 10th. I'm going to have some form of encouragement, just to share with you, to kind of help you to, just be a light, for me to be a light out here in the midst of the world, and to share my gifts of encouragement and motivation and inspiration, just to speak life, because we're going through, everybody is going through something. Okay, this pandemic has impacted people's lives so much, on so many different levels. But now is truly the time to activate your faith and put your confidence and your trust in the Most High God. Okay, because He will never leave us, He will never forsake us, even though there's times when we feel forsaken. But just know that His word never returns unto Him void. Okay, so I will be dropping that link again. It's bit.ly/ignite my worth. I hope to see you there. We are ready to serve, and it's going to be lit. Okay, so I pray that you all have an amazing rest of your evening. Feel free to share this information with anyone who you feel is going through a tough time in their relationships, or they're walking through a divorce and just need some encouragement. I pray that this message spreads all around the world, and it touches those hearts of those women that are out there that need to hear this message. So you all be blessed and take care, and choose. I can say that I choose to live ignited so I can thrive, and I pray that you do the same. God bless you.